making benches in this gazebo. I'm going to take this, I've moved my unique component back over to this one, but I'm going to hide it. Even if you had all the regular components here, you could come in and it might be easier to hide this. And just going to go to the back here. I'm going to draw a rectangle that's oversized. I'm going to do 84, 16. The 16 is probably not going to change. That's the front to back size of the bench. And I think the best way to start this is to grab this, grab its corner and move it over right to there. And maybe I'll do this a little different than I did in class because I want it to fit up against the posts better. So I'm going to move it back. I'm going to move that back edge back. I'm going to hit the left arrow key so it's moving on the green axis. I'm going to touch this edge right here, or this point. Because I hit the green arrow key, it's locked in like that. That may look weird right now, but it's going to be okay. Then I want it to be 16 inches off the ground, so I'm going to move it straight up. So I'll hit M and then hit the up arrow key, and we'll move it straight up in the air like that. Let go. I'm going to tell it to go up 16, enter. And you can see it's kind of punched in around this post. I think I want it to come right to that corner, so I'm going to hit T for the tape and just pull the tape line in and touch that point. And then I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to move this bench. It's still selected, or you could double click it. I'm going to move point to point from this point on the guideline right up to there, so it's right up against that point. Okay. And then I'm just going to grab this thing and I'm going to move it over. I'm going to hit the right arrow key, so I move it this way. And I'm just going to kind of equalize it side to side so it's hanging over kind of equally on both sides. Okay, it's still two-dimensional. If I push-pull up, it's going to change the height. So in this case, I'm going to push-pull down. Like if I went up this way, it's going to get higher and higher to sit on. I'm going to pull it down this way, and I'm going to go down 1.25. That's 5/4 lumber, they call it in the lumber yard. Then I'm going to get rid of this guide right here. And I think the quickest way to do this is going to be this. I'm going to hit T for the tape. I'm just going to use some random point on this line, hit the up arrow key so it goes straight up, and I'm going to touch the top surface here. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just get a random point on this line, click and drag straight up, so hit the up arrow key, and just touch this surface. So that sort of shows me, gives me a map of where to cut this thing now. The only thing that's a little tricky here is I'm going to, right now this isn't a group, it's just a raw SketchUp object. That's fine. I'm going to draw in a line from here out to the guideline, and draw a line from here out to the front. Because really this guideline is like the pizza slice line. You have to aim better than I just did. Actually, I overshot that line. And if all goes well, this section's off from this, and I can push this down to nothing. I ended up with a little crumb of a line right there. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, now let's do the same thing on the other side. Zooming in always helps this. I'm going to draw a line from here over to there. Better this time. Then I'm going to draw it to that point. I can check it. It's good. Section's off. Push this down to nothing. I'm going to put this in the component, but before I do that, I definitely am going to make it a group. Cut it out, You could right click and use the scissors if you want. Cut it out. Then get inside this particular component and paste it back in. Fourth icon here. And it looks like that, which is weird in the corners now because of the bounding boxes. But when you click out of this, it should fit nicely like that.